Have you ever sat in a meeting, looked around the conference table, and wondered to yourself, why does nobody here understand what I'm saying? It is a frustrating feeling. You give clear instructions. You explain the logic perfectly. You lay out the roadmap. And yet, when you look at the faces staring back at you, all you see is confusion, or worse, indifference. You walk away from that meeting thinking, I am surrounded by idiots. But here is the uncomfortable truth that we need to address right at the start. If you think everyone around you is an idiot, the problem is likely not them. The problem is your translation mechanism. Welcome to the comprehensive guide on human behavior based on the principles of the DISC profile. Over the next few hours, we are going to dismantle everything you think you know about communication. We are going to look at the invisible grid that separates humanity into 4 distinct categories. Most people live their entire lives trying to force other people to think like them. A fast thinker gets angry at a slow thinker. A detailed person gets annoyed by a creative dreamer. We treat these differences as flaws. We think, if only they were more like me, this company would work better. If only my partner was more like me, our relationship would be easier. But that is a biological impossibility. Innate. The reality is that communication happens on the listener's terms. It does not matter what you intended to say. It only matters what they heard. And what they hear is filtered through their personality type. To understand this, we have to go back to a man named Sture. Sture was a successful entrepreneur. He built his company from the ground up. He was sharp, driven, and incredibly effective. But he was a disaster with people. During an interview, he told the author, Thomas Erikson, that his company was filled with incompetent people. He said, "Everyone I hire turns out to be an idiot." Now, statistically speaking, that is impossible. You cannot accidentally hire an entire building full of idiots. The reality was that Sture was a red personality type. He spoke in headlines. He demanded quick results. He didn't care about feelings. He cared about the bottom line. His staff, however, were mostly greens and blues. They needed security. They needed details. They needed time. When Sture screamed, "Fix this now," he thought he was being a strong leader. His staff heard, "I am angry, you are incompetent, and you might get fired." They didn't fix the problem. They froze. This creates a cycle of failure. The leader gets angrier, the staff gets more scared, and communication breaks down completely. So how do we break this cycle? We have to understand the 4 archetypes. This isn't new science. This goes back to Hippocrates, the father of medicine, who defined 4 temperaments over 2,000 years ago. The Aztecs had a similar system based on the elements. Today, we use colors: red, yellow, green, blue. You are a combination of these colors, but usually one color dominates your behavior. Let's begin our deep dive into the most controversial, the most powerful, and often the most difficult personality type to handle: the red behavior. If you are listening to this and you are already feeling impatient, thinking, "Get to the point, hurry up, tell me how to use this," then congratulations, you are likely a red. Reds are the alphas, the commanders, the dominant force in any room. In the animal kingdom, the red is the shark. It is always moving. It is always hunting. It does not stop to admire the scenery. Reds make up a small percentage of the population, yet they occupy a massive percentage of leadership roles. CEOs, military generals, politicians, and high-stakes litigators are often heavy on red behavior. Why? Because they are task-oriented. A red person wakes up in the morning with a list of things to conquer. They do not wake up thinking about how to make people feel good. They wake up thinking about how to get things done. To a red, time is the most valuable resource. If you waste a red's time, you are stealing from them. This is why they often appear rude to other people. Imagine a red runs into an old friend on the street. The friend says, "Hey, how are you? I haven't seen you in ages. How is the family? How is the dog?" The red is thinking, "I have a meeting in 6 minutes. I do not have time for this." So the red says, "I'm good, busy, gotta go." To the friend, this feels cold. It feels arrogant. But to the red, it is simply efficiency. Why use 50 words when 5 will do? This drive for efficiency makes them incredible change makers. If you have a crisis, you want a red in charge. They do not panic. They do not hesitate. They make the hard decisions that keeps the ship afloat. They are willing to step over toes to get results. But this strength is also their greatest weakness. Because they are so focused on the task, they often forget the human element. A red boss might walk into the office and say, "This report is trash. Redo it." They aren't trying to hurt your feelings. They are simply stating a fact. The report is not good. But the employee goes home and cries. The employee thinks the boss hates him. The boss, meanwhile, has already forgotten the conversation and moved on to the next task. Reds often struggle to understand why people are so sensitive. They view emotions as inefficiencies. If you are a red listening to this, you need to understand one thing. You can be right, but if nobody follows you because they hate you, you have failed. If you are living or working with a red, you need a survival strategy. You cannot change them. You cannot tell a shark to become a vegetarian, but you can learn how to swim with them without getting eaten. Here's the golden rule for handling a red. Be direct. When you approach a red, remove all the fluff. Do not start a conversation with, "Well, I was thinking, and maybe if we have time, we could possibly look at..." Stop. You have already lost them. Instead say, "Here's the problem. Here is the solution. Here is what I need from you." Reds respect strength. They respect competence. If you are firm, clear, and fast, a red will treat you as an equal. If you waffle, hesitate, or complain, they will run you over. But life isn't just about work and conquest. Sometimes life is about connection. It's about energy. It's about the people who light up a room just by walking into it. While the red is busy conquering the world, our next personality type is busy charming it. They are the storytellers, the dreamers, the people who make life feel like a movie. Let's turn our attention to the yellows. Imagine a bottle of champagne. You shake it some more, and then you pop the cork. Boom, foam everywhere, excitement, noise, celebration. That is the essence of the yellow personality. If the red is the engine of the car, the yellow is the shiny paint job and the loud stereo system. We all know a yellow. In fact, you might be thinking of one right now. They are the person who walks into a quiet room, and within 5 minutes, everyone is laughing. They are magnetic. They are charming. They are the social wizards of the world. Yellows are driven by one thing: influence. Unlike the red, who wants to control you, the yellow wants to inspire you. They want you to like them. No, scratch that. They need you to like them. Rejection is physically painful for a yellow. Picture this scenario. A yellow walks into your office. "Guys, I have the most amazing idea. We are going to change the entire marketing strategy. It's going to be huge. We'll have drones. We'll have fireworks. Everyone gets excited. The energy is electric. But then you ask a simple question. Okay, how much will that cost? And who is going to do the paperwork?" Watch the yellow's face, the light goes out. Because yellows live in the clouds, they hate the ground, they hate details, they hate Excel spreadsheets. To a yellow, details are boring, and boring is the enemy. This makes them incredible at starting projects, but terrible at finishing them. They are the people who start a diet on Monday, write a novel on Tuesday, learn guitar on Wednesday, and by Friday, they have forgotten all of it because they found a new shiny object. Living with a yellow is a roller coaster. It is fun, but it is exhausting. They talk a lot. Research shows that yellows speak significantly more words per day than any other color. They don't just answer a question, they tell a story. You ask, "What time is it?" And they tell you about the watch they bought in Italy 3 years ago and the pizza they ate there. But here is the dark side of the yellow sunshine. They do not listen. While you are speaking, the yellow is not listening to your words. They are waiting for their turn to speak again. They are already formulating their next joke, their next story. This is why they often miss important instructions. It's not malice. It's just that their brain is moving faster than their ears. So how do you handle this hurricane of energy? If you try to shut them down, you kill their spirit. If you tell a yellow, "Stop talking and get back to work," they will withdraw and become useless. To lead a yellow, you must feed their ego. Praise them publicly. Let them be the center of attention. Use their charisma to sell your ideas. But, and this is crucial, never trust them with the boring details. Always have someone else check their work. Now, let's take a breath. Let the noise fade away. Let the confetti settle on the floor. Turn off the music. We are moving from the chaos of the yellow to the silence of the green. Statistically, if you are listening to this, there is a very high chance you have strong green traits. Why? Because greens make up roughly 65% of the population. They are the silent majority, the bedrock of civilization. If the red is the accelerator and the yellow is the radio, the green is the brakes. They keep us safe. They keep us grounded. Greens are defined by one word: stability. They do not want to conquer the world like a red. They do not want to be famous like a yellow. They just want everyone to get along. They want a nice dinner, a comfortable chair, and zero drama. In a world that celebrates loud, aggressive success, greens are often undervalued. But imagine a world without them. A world full of only reds would be a war zone. A world full of only yellows would be a chaotic party where nothing ever gets built. We need the greens. They're the ones doing the actual work while the others are talking about it. But here's the mystery of the green personality: the wall of silence. Have you ever asked someone, "Is everything okay?" And they say, "I'm fine." But you just know, they're not fine. That is the green defense mechanism. Greens hate conflict. They hate it more than anything. If a red screams at a green, the green will not scream back. They will just sit there, nodding. But inside, they are building a wall. Greens are the masters of passive aggressiveness. They will not fight you openly. Instead, they will slow down. They will forget to do the task. They will give you the silent treatment for 3 days. It is a dangerous mistake to think that because a green is quiet, they are weak. Water is soft, but over time, water cuts through rock. A green's stubbornness is legendary. Once they decide not to move, you cannot move them. The biggest source of stress for a green is change. "Let's move to a new city," says the yellow. The green panics. "Why? What's wrong with this city? I like my neighbors. I know where the grocery store is." If you want to destroy a green employee, just change their desk every week. change the software they use, change the meeting times, you will watch them crumble. So how do you unlock the potential of a green? You need patience. You cannot push a river, you have to guide it. When you need a green to do something new, you must give them a map. Do not say, "Figure it out." That terrifies them. Say, "Step 1 is this, step 2 is this. I will be right here with you." Make them feel safe. If a green feels safe, they will be the most loyal, hardworking, and supportive person in your life. They will never stab you in the back. They will always be there to catch you when you fall. But what about the details? What about the facts? What about the truth? We've met the leaders, the entertainers, and the supporters. But we have not yet met the perfectionists. We've not met the people who look at the world and see a mathematical equation waiting to be solved. The people who don't care if you are happy, as long as you are right. Prepare yourself. We are entering the domain of the blue. Stop feeling, start thinking. Put away the emotions, put away the excitement, put away the fear. What is left? Data. Welcome to the world of the blue personality. If the red is the gas pedal, and the green is the brake, the blue is the onboard computer system analyzing the fuel efficiency, the tire pressure, and the probability of a crash. Blues are the rarest personality type after reds, but they are the ones who keep the world from falling apart. They are the engineers who build the bridges. They are the surgeons who perform the heart transplants. They are the accountants who make sure the company doesn't go to jail. To a blue, the world is a series of problems waiting to be solved, and there is only one correct way to solve them. Not my way, not your way, the right way. How do you spot a blue? They are the ones asking why. When a yellow says, "Let's build a rocket," the blue asks, "What is the budget? What is the trajectory? Have you calculated the wind resistance?" To the yellow, this feels like a wet blanket. They think the blue is a pessimist. But the blue isn't a pessimist. They are a realist. They are the ones who notice that you forgot to put a parachute in the rocket. Blues are introverted like greens, but for a very different reason. Greens are quiet because they don't want to disturb the peace. Blues are quiet because they are observing, they are judging, they are collecting evidence. Have you ever been in an argument with a partner who remembers exactly what you said 3 years ago on a Tuesday at 4 p.m.? That is a blue. They have a mental filing cabinet that never forgets a mistake. This makes them terrifying to work for. A blue boss will not scream like a red. They will not ignore you like a green. They will simply look at your work, point to a tiny error on page 14, and ask, "Why is this here?" Their silence is louder than a scream. The tragedy of the blue is that they often feel surrounded by incompetence. They look at the red, rushing around making mistakes. They look at the yellow, talking about nothing. They look at the green moving too slowly. And they think, why can nobody else do their job properly? If you want to communicate with a blue, you must speak their language. Do not try to charm them. Do not try to dominate them. Prepare. Bring the facts. Bring the spreadsheets. If you don't know the answer, say "I don't know." Do not guess. If you guess and you are wrong, you will lose their trust forever. Tone shift. Darker, intense, cinematic, speed, slightly faster. Now we have met the players. The commander, red. The entertainer, yellow. The supporter, green. The analyst, blue. On a good day, when the sun is shining and the coffee is fresh, these four can work together. The red leads, the blue plans, the yellow markets, and the green supports. But life is not always a good day. Life is messy. Life is hard. And this is where the true danger lies. We are now entering the stress zone. What happens when you take these personalities and squeeze them? What happens when the deadline is missed? When the money runs out? When the car breaks down? The mask falls off, and the monster comes out. Understanding stress behavior is the single most important skill you can learn from this audiobook, because when people are stressed, they stop acting rationally. They revert to their primal instincts. Let's watch the explosion happen in slow motion. Scenario 1. The red under stress. When a red feels threatened, they do not hide. They attack. They become the dictator. They stop listening completely. They start blaming. It's your fault. You are useless. Why do I have to do everything myself? They become aggressive and mean. They will burn bridges just to win the argument. Scenario 2. The yellow under stress. When the pressure hits a yellow, they don't attack. They become the drama queen. They need attention. They over-dramatize everything. You don't understand. Everyone is against me. This is the worst day of my life. They lose all focus. They become manic. They might even lie just to make themselves look like the victim. They are desperate to not be the bad guy. Scenario 3. The green under stress. This is the most confusing reaction for many people. When a red screams, you know they are stressed. But when a green is stressed, they disappear. They become the zombie. They physically shut down. Their face goes blank. They stop making eye contact. You ask them, "What's wrong?" and they say nothing. Inside, they are panicked, but outside they are a stone wall. This drives reds and blues crazy. They want to fight. They want to solve it, but the green has left the building. Scenario 4. The blue under stress. When a blue is cornered, they do not scream. They do not cry. They become the cynic. They begin to nitpick. They obsess over tiny, irrelevant details. "We just lost $1 million, screams the red. "Well," says the blue, "you also spelled million wrong in the email." They use logic as a weapon. They become cold and pessimistic. They will list 50 reasons why your plan will fail, just to prove that they were right all along. Tone. Serious, direct, empathetic. Pause for a second. Think about the last big fight you had. With your spouse, with your boss, with your parent. Was it really about the dirty dishes? Was it really about the report? Or was it a red attacking a green? Was it a blue criticizing a yellow? You see, we judge others by their bad behavior, but we judge ourselves by our good intentions. When you scream, you think, "I'm just trying to fix this." Red intent. But they see a monster. When you go silent, you think, "I'm just trying not to make it worse." Green intent. But they see a coward. This cycle of misunderstanding destroys marriages. It destroys companies. But now, you have the key to break the lock. You know the secret. So how do we use this power? How do we actually manipulate? Adapt to the people around us to get what we want. In the next section, we are going to stop analyzing and start acting. I'm going to give you the user manual for every person in your life. Knowledge is useless without application. You can know that a lion is dangerous, but that won't save you if you don't know what to do when you see one. We are now going to open the user manual for the human race. We will start with the loud ones, the extroverts, the people who suck up all the oxygen in the room, the reds and the yellows. If you want a raise from your red boss, or you want your yellow partner to actually wash the dishes, listen closely. Strategy 1. Handling the red, the fire. Dealing with a red is like handling a loaded weapon. If you respect it, it protects you. If you play with it, it goes off in your face. Most people make the fatal mistake of trying to soften the blow when talking to a red. They use sandwich feedback. A compliment, then the problem, then another compliment. Do not do this. A red smells fear. If you hesitate, they will crush you. The tactical guide for reds. 1. The bottom line. First, wait. Never ever start a sentence with because or no. A red doesn't care why something happened until they know what happened. Wrong. Well, the traffic was bad and the printer broke, so I'm late. Right. I am late. I will be there in 10 minutes. It won't happen again. Respect the efficiency. They will respect you back. 2. The illusion of control. Reds need to feel like they are winning. If you tell them what to do, they will rebel. So, you use the two-choice technique. If you want them to sign a contract, don't ask, "Can you sign this?" Ask, "Do you want to sign this now, or should we review it tomorrow morning?" You give them two options. You are happy with both, but they get to choose. They feel like the boss, but you got what you wanted. 3. Stand your ground. This is counterintuitive. If a red raises their voice, your instinct is to retreat. Don't. Look them in the eye. Keep your voice calm but firm. Reds test people. They shake the tree to see if the fruit falls. If you stay strong, they will trust you. If you crumble, they will never respect you again. Strategy 2. Handling the yellow, the wind. Now, let's pivot. If you use red tactics on a yellow, you will destroy them. You cannot be cold with a yellow. You cannot be efficient. To a yellow, efficiency feels like rejection. Handling a yellow is like catching a butterfly. You have to be gentle, or it flies away. The tactical guide for yellows. 1. Feed the ego. I cannot stress this enough. Yellows run on validation. If you want a yellow to do something, you have to make them feel like it was their brilliant idea. Wrong. You need to rewrite this email. It's too long. Right. I love that story you told in the email. You are so good at writing. Maybe we can shorten it just a bit so more people read your amazing words. Flattery is the currency of the Yellow Kingdom. Spend it generously. 2. The summary technique. Remember, yellows do not listen to details. They hear the vibe, not the words. After a meeting with a yellow, never assume they understood you. Always say, "This was great. Just to make sure we rock this project, can you repeat back the top 3 things we are doing next?" Make them say it. If they can't say it, they didn't hear it. 3. Be the anchor. Yellows are often late, disorganized, and forgetful. Do not get angry. It's like getting angry at the wind for blowing. Instead, be their structure. Send them calendar invites. Send them reminders. Don't say, "You forgot again." Say, "Hey, just bumping this up because I know you're super busy with all your big projects." Frame your help as support, not criticism. Tone shift, bridge to next section. So we've learned how to handle the fire and the wind. We know how to survive the aggression of the red and the chaos of the yellow. But what about the others? What about the people who don't scream? The ones who don't dance on tables? What about the people who beat you with silence? Dealing with the quiet ones, the greens and the blues, requires a completely different set of tools. You cannot use energy here. You need patience, and you need proof. Let's enter the quiet room. We are leaving the noisy world of the reds and yellows. We are entering the sanctuary of the introverts. Dealing with greens and blues requires a completely different set of muscles. If you try to hype up a green, they will think you are fake. If you try to dominate a blue, they will think you are stupid. Here, you do not win by being the loudest. You win by being the safest and the smartest. Strategy. 3. Handling the green, the earth. Remember, the green is the most common personality type. They are the majority. If you cannot lead a green, you cannot lead. The biggest mistake people make with greens is impatience. You ask a green, "Where do you want to go for lunch?" They say, "I don't know. Where do you want to go?" You say, "Just pick a place," and they shut down. You have just violated their core need, security. The tactical guide for greens. 1. The sleep on it technique. Greens hate making snap decisions. If you demand an answer now, the answer will be no, because no is safe. No means nothing changes. If you want a yes, give them time. Wrong. We need to buy this car today or the deal is gone. This terrifies them. Right. Here's the brochure. Take it home. Read it tonight. Let's talk tomorrow morning. No pressure. When you remove the pressure, the green relaxes, and a relaxed green is a cooperative green. 2. Use we, not you. Greens are relational. They fear being isolated or blamed. If you say, "You need to fix this," they hear, "You are in trouble." Change your language. Wrong. You need to finish that report. Right. We really need to get that report done so the team can relax this weekend. How can I help you get started? When they feel like part of a herd, they feel safe to move. 3. The gentle nudge. Greens are stubborn. Once they sit down, they don't want to get up. Do not push them, lead them. Imagine you are guiding a scared horse. You don't whip it, you walk beside it. Break big tasks into tiny, non-scary steps. Don't say, "Clean the whole garage." Say, "Let's just move these 2 boxes." Once they start, momentum takes over. Tone shift, precise, clinical, sharp. Strategy 4, handling the blue, the ice. And finally, we arrive at the final boss level, the blues. Dealing with a blue is an intellectual combat. They are not swayed by your smile. They are not swayed by your team spirit. They are looking at your competence. If you are a sloppy person, a blue will destroy you without saying a word. They will just file away your mistakes in their brain. The tactical guide for blues. 1. Prove it. This is the golden rule. Never make a claim you cannot back up with paper. If you say, "Competitors are eating our market share," the blue asks, "Which competitors? What percentage? Over what time frame?" If you don't have the numbers, stop talking. Before you enter a meeting with a blue, do your homework. Anticipate their questions. The trick. If you hand a blue a 20-page report, they will love you. They won't read it all right now, but the fact that the report exists makes them trust you. 2. Kill the emotion. Blues view high emotion as a sign of instability. If you are jumping up and down with excitement, the blue thinks, "He is manic, he is not thinking clearly." Keep your voice flat, keep your body language controlled. Stick to the facts. Wrong. "I have a gut feeling this is going to be amazing." Right. Based on the Q3 data, this projection shows a 15% increase. Speak their language, data, and they will listen. 3. Respect the process. Blues love rules. They love checklists. They love schedules. Do not drop a surprise on a blue. "Hey, let's skip the meeting and go for drinks," is a nightmare for a blue. They have a plan. You just ruined it. If you want to change a blue's mind, you must show them that the new plan is more logical than the old plan. You cannot win with passion. You can only win with better logic. Tone shift, reflective, philosophical, the great realization. So take a look in the mirror. We have covered the fire, red, the wind, yellow, the earth, green, and the ice, blue. By now, you are probably thinking, I am definitely a red. Or, my wife is 100% a green. But here's the twist. Human beings are not cartoons. We are not one-dimensional. Very few people are just one color. Most of us are a cocktail. You might be a red-yellow, a loud, charismatic leader who talks too much. You might be a green-blue, a quiet, detail-oriented person who hates conflict and loves spreadsheets. But there are some combinations that do not exist. And there are some combinations that are at war with each other. In the next section, we are going to mix the paints. We are going to look at the hybrids. And I will explain why you sometimes feel like you have two different people living inside your head. Welcome to the advanced class. Up until now, we have treated red, yellow, green, and blue as separate islands. But in reality, no man is an island. And very few people are just one color. According to Thomas Erikson, roughly 80% of the population has two dominant colors. Only 5% have one color. And the rest have three. This is where things get interesting. This is why you might act like a red at work, but like a green at home. Let's break down the most common hybrid models of human behavior. See if you can spot yourself here. Combination 1. The red-yellow, the motivator. Imagine a person who has the aggression of a red and the charisma of a yellow. This is the project starter. This is the politician. They are loud, fast, and incredibly persuasive. They don't just tell you to storm the castle. Red, they make you excited to storm the castle. Yellow, the strength, they are unstoppable forces of energy. They can sell ice to an Eskimo. The weakness, they are terrible listeners. A red-yellow will talk over you, interrupt you, and assume they are right. They have zero patience for details. Blue, or slow movers. Green. If you work for a red-yellow, you better run fast, or you will get left behind. Combination 2. The green-blue, the system. Now flip the coin. Combine the stability of the green with the perfectionism of the blue. These are the people who keep the lights on. They are the administrators, the accountants, the quality control experts. The strength, they are virtually error-free. They are calm, methodical, and thorough. They don't take risks. The weakness, speed, they are slow, painfully slow. They will analyze a decision to death. They also struggle to sell their ideas because they lack the red-yellow energy. They wait to be asked. Combination 3. The red-blue, the executive. This is a scary combination. You have the red's drive for results, the blue's drive for accuracy. This person is task-oriented to the extreme. They don't care about your feelings. Red, and they don't care about your social life. Blue, they only care about the job and the facts. The strength, they are incredibly efficient. If you want a job done perfectly and immediately, hire a red-blue. Oh, the weakness, they can be cold, robotic. They often struggle to build teams because they view people skills as a waste of time. They are the most likely to be called heartless by the sensitive yellows and greens. Combination 4. The yellow-green, the friend. This is the nicest person you will ever meet. They have the social skills of the yellow and the kindness of the green. They are people-oriented. The strength, everyone loves them. They are great HR managers, teachers, and counselors. They create a wonderful atmosphere. The weakness. They cannot make tough decisions. The yellow wants to be liked, and the green hates conflict. So if they have to fire someone or deliver bad news, they fall apart. They will let problems fester just to avoid a fight. Tone shift. Intriguing. Did you know style? The impossible combinations. Now look at the color wheel. You will notice something strange. You often see reds/yellows. You often see green-blues, but you rarely see the diagonals, the red-green paradox. How can you be a red, do it now, and a green, let's relax and take our time, at the same time? It is a contradiction. If someone appears to be a red/green, usually it means they are one color at work and another at home. Or they are under extreme stress. It is an internal civil war. The yellow-blue paradox. How can you be a yellow? Details are boring. And a blue, I love details. You can't. A yellow acts on gut feeling. A blue acts on data. These two are natural enemies. If you feel like you are both, you are likely a confused yellow who has been forced to act like a blue by your job, and you are probably exhausted. Tone shift, reflective, coaching. Self-diagnosis time. So, who are you? Are you the red-yellow, burning bright? Are you the green, sigh, blue holding the fort? Are you the red-blue getting it done? Or the yellow-green keeping the peace? Here's the secret to mastery. Most of us focus on our primary color. I am a red, so I act like a red. But true power comes from developing your shadow color. If you are a loud red/yellow, your challenge is to learn how to shut up and look at a spreadsheet, blue. If you are a quiet green/blue, your challenge is to learn how to stand up and speak with passion, red. You don't have to become them, but you have to visit their world. We are nearing the end of our journey. We have the map. We have the user manual. We have the diagnosis. But there is one final piece of the puzzle left. Adaptation. How do you actually deliver a message to a room full of all these people at the same time? How do you write an email that a red, blue, green, and yellow will all read? In the final part, I will give you the universal communication strategy. We've arrived at the final station. We have dissected the red commanders, the yellow entertainers, the green supporters, and the blue architects. We've looked at the hybrids. We have looked at the stress monsters. But a question remains. In the real world, you don't always get to talk to one person at a time. You have to send an email to a team of 10 people. You have to give a presentation to a room of 50. How do you communicate when the room is full of every color? If you speak red, you scare the greens. If you speak blue, you bore the yellows. The solution is what I call the multicolor strategy. Whenever you communicate to a group, you must include one ingredient for everyone. It is like cooking a meal for a group where one person is vegan, one is gluten-free, and one is a meat lover. You have to put everything on the table. The perfect email formula. Let's look at a practical example. Let's say you need to send a project update email to your team. Most people write emails based on their own color. A red writes, "Project is late, fix it by Friday." The greens panic, the blues think it's vague. A blue writes a 3,000-word essay with 5 attachments. The reds delete it immediately. Here is how you write the perfect universal email. 1. The subject line. For the red, make it clear and urgent. Action required. Q4 project update deadlines. The red reads this and knows exactly what the point is. 2. The opening. For the yellow, start with energy and vision. Hi team, we are on the verge of something huge. The progress we've made is incredible, and this launch is going to change the game. The yellow is now excited and reading. ED 3. The body for the blue. Provide the structure and facts. Here are the 3 key milestones we need to hit. Milestone 1, November 24th, design locked. Milestone 2, December 1st, beta test. Please see the attached spreadsheet for the specific KPI metrics. The blue is now satisfied because they have the data. 4. The closing for the green. End with support and safety. I know this is a busy time, and I appreciate everyone's hard work. If anyone has concerns about the timeline, my door is open. We are in this together. The green now feels safe and supported. Result: you have just sent 1 email, but you spoke 4 languages. That is the power of adaptation. Tone shift: deep, philosophical, slower. The platinum rule. We grew up learning the golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated. Based on everything we have learned in this book, we now know that the golden rule is wrong. If you treat a green the way a red wants to be treated, you will crush them. If you treat a blue the way a yellow wants to be treated, you will annoy them. We need to upgrade to the platinum rule. Treat others how they want to be treated. This is not about being fake. This is not about manipulation. It is about respect. It is arrogant to assume that your way of viewing the world is the only correct way. It is arrogant to think that speed, red, is better than accuracy, blue. It is arrogant to think that charisma, yellow, is better than stability, green. We need them all. Oh. The red gives us direction, the yellow gives us ideas, the green gives us stability, the blue gives us quality. When you stop fighting against these differences and start using them, the friction disappears. The idiots disappear. And suddenly, you realize you aren't surrounded by idiots at all. You are surrounded by pieces of a puzzle that you finally know how to solve. Tone, high energy, call to action. Your mission. So, here is your homework. Tomorrow, when you walk into work or when you sit down at the dinner table, I want you to play the detective. Don't just listen to what people say, watch how they say it. Watch who taps their foot impatiently, red. Watch who tells the long story, yellow. Watch who agrees just to avoid an argument, green. Watch who asks for the source of the data, blue. Once you see the color, change your frequency. Adapt, connect, and watch the magic happen. Outro. This has been the complete deep dive into Surrounded by Idiots. If you found value in this audio experience, do me a favor. In the comments below, tell me, what color are you, and what color is the person you struggle with the most? I read every comment, and I want to see the combinations. I am Voxtro, and this channel is dedicated to unlocking the secrets of the human mind. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and I will see you in the next video.